This is Femi Kuti. Tune into Sheila O on How Far. Ororororo. You will not regret it.
It's the Afrozons show, and this is How Far.
Chilling with my girl Sheila O. How far?
And How Far with Sheila O.
Sheila O. On How Far.
How Far.
How Far.
And you're watching How Far with my main person.
Sheila O, baby.
Tune into How Far.
The only place where hip-hop meets Afrobeat. The whole package together. Then you had to kill them with DKT. No, stop it.
This is Femi Kuti. Tune into Sheila O on How Far. Ororororo. You will not regret it.
Watch How Far with Sheila O. Fridays and Mondays at 10:30 p.m. GMT +1 on HIPTV, DSTV. Powered by Star Rattler, Beirut and Munch.
Checking in, it's your girl Sheila O. How far? What's up? What going? How you all doing? Hope you all keeping safe. The Afrozons show, and this is How Far. How far now? What's up? What going? How you all doing? Hope you all keeping safe and doing the most, okay? Because you know I'm always pushing for positivity and all that good stuff. My guest today, I already read his accolades, okay? And I enjoyed myself doing it. A living legend, a global icon. I think he's my personal friend, okay? And he's someone that we all love dearly. He goes by the name Femi Kuti. Femi Kuti, how far?
I'm doing quite well, thank you.
Thank you so much for allowing us into the shrine, because I know you have a show today, so I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, thank you.
Okay, so Femi, for the Afrozons listeners, you know, the show is nationally syndicated. So for the Afrozons listeners, I would like to start with your humble beginnings as the son of the forever, ever living legend, as far as we're all concerned, Fela Kuti.
You can take it from anywhere.
Okay, who is the founder, the creator, the reason why I have a job today of Afrobeats. How was it like growing up as the son of such a huge, massive legend who today, you know, legacy continues to live on? How did it feel like growing up as his son and also growing up in a shrine?
First of all, the Afrobeats is very different from the Afrobeat.
Correct.
Now, my father called his music Afrobeat, but later in his life called it African classical music. Mm-hmm. So the Afrobeats takes a lot of rhythms from the Afrobeats takes a lot of rhythms from the Afrobeat. And I think probably to find a name for their style of music, they call it Afrobeats. But it always causes a little bit of confusion. Very different kinds of music. Okay, being Fela's son, I wouldn't know because I've never been anybody else's son. And I will say I have no regrets being his son. I can't imagine being a son to anybody else. I mean, it has its ups and downs, of course. I always tell my elder sister, whether we like it or not, we are traumatized children. To see our father beaten so many times when we were young, in our very early teens. The first raid was in '74, where he was brutally beaten. So I was 12. And it continued. And so many times being locked up. I mean, the burning of the house. I know we are traumatized children. And then, of course, the problem of Nigeria. I think we're all traumatized people in Nigeria, basically.
Period.
So maybe we should just call the name Traumatized Nation so we know where we're coming from. So, yeah, basically that's it.
If you were in a living legend who's an artist right now, what would you be? Because I want to know, first and foremost, is it something that you were predestined to do, be an artist because of your dad's legacy and the path, or was it something that you actually chose for yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to be a musician?
I think it was my destiny. I never could think of anything else. Music was always around me. It was just a matter of how, because I didn't have any formal education and my father never taught me. So I practically had to find my way every step. And for some reason, he had a lot of confidence that I would.
Right.
But his elder brother, my mother, were very deeply worried that how did he expect me to be successful with no education? And he just said, don't worry, Femi will find his way. I think he took a very big risk. And I think I do know I'm quite lucky. But from when I could remember, when he had his releases of his albums, we always played them. It was a competition between my elder sister and younger sister. We grew up in the same household on who will learn the songs, who could dance to the songs better. And so it was always around me. It was just, where would I fit into this lovely chaos in music?
To make it make sense, right?
Yes.
Okay. We're currently here at the Shrine. This is the home of Femi Kuti.
Yes.
Okay. And of course, the legendary Positive Band. This is your home, right?
Yes, it is my home. It was built in honor of my father.
Yes.
But
Yes.
And we took it further to make it a place where we pay homage to great people who have fought for the emancipation of Africa.
That's right.
People like Patrice Lumumba, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Bob Marley, Muhammad Ali, any great African men and women who have fought for the emancipation of Africa. So it is a place where we pay homage. That's why it's called the Shrine.
Yes.
People always see shrine as something where you do juju and all this.
That's ignorance.
Because, thank you very much, they have lost their minds. We have lost our minds here. So.
Okay. Also, not only is it your home, Femi, to the point I'm trying to make, it's also a landmark in Africa, a place that a lot of heads of state, presidents, world leaders, A-list celebrities. I know I was here with Bobby Brown and all the others. That was one of the first things they ever said to me every time I do a concert in Africa. It's always, let's go to the shrine. Yenny thinks I'm doing a favor, but I'm not. She's actually doing me a favor because they asked me to come to the shrine, and I thank God Yenny opens the doors, and you're always here to host us. Who've been one of your most favorite guests that you've had here at the shrine?
Wow.
Because you've had many world leaders. Name it.
It's not a very fair question because every guest has been special in a way. But Naomi Campbell, Erika Badu, the French president,
Yes.
without the political
Aspect. Right.
Because I am somebody that fights for Africa, and France has played a very major role in the oppression of Africa.
Very negative.
And still. So, but his coming was significant in the sense that it showed that we are doing the right thing. He said when he was doing his interim in Nigeria, he was inspired by my music. And he just liked the atmosphere at the shrine. And he promised himself that if he ever had the opportunity to come back to Nigeria, he wanted to visit the shrine. Fortunately, he became president and he was coming to Nigeria. So the first thing on his list was he must come back to the shrine. So, of course, we had to welcome him. There are so many.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua, he lost his belt, he came here, we had a long talk.
Right.
He got his belt back. He said he was inspired by the talk we had. He was inspired by my music and my father's music.
Yeah.
I just miss this name, Seal.
Seal.
Of
Yes.
course.
Your
Seal is
brother,
like
Seal.
a brother. Yes,
Yes.
Seal is like a brother. And Angelique Kidjo, Yusundo. So many people have been here. You see, the question is not fair because you put me on the spot and I have to see the names are just dropping off one by one, so I might forget one or two names.
But people need to know
then,
this.
of course, we have all our great artists in Nigeria, from Wizkid, Burna Boy, Davido, D'banj, name them. Everybody has stopped by. Nini Ola, most of them have done videos here. So it's been the center of entertainment.
Culture and tourism.
Thank you. Here in Nigeria.
Beautiful.
That's another name I don't like again, celebrity. I'm just a very simple. You see, I'm very.
Femi, I'm in trouble with you today.
No, I'm just a very simple person who happens to play music. It brings a bit of fame, yes, but I shy away from that fame. I would just love to get on stage, play good music, inspire people, go back home, meet my family, play with my children, and have a good life. You see, so all these things that come are really secondary for me. Does it does what I sing have an effect on my life as a musician? Yes, in many respects, because at the beginning I never got radio play. When we built the shrine, we were having constant police raids for 8 years. Okay, I started off with my father, so I got locked up with him. I was part of the people who took his mother's coffin, so I got beaten in Dodam Barracks. There was a day I was standing outside Kalakuta, and the soldiers passed, bundled me in their lorry, took me and locked me in the cell. So yes, I've had my fair share of issues, but I think the biggest is not getting airplay. But then I saw it as I didn't let it derail me, or I didn't let it discourage me. We built the shrine, and I play free on Thursdays. I used to play free, I used to play 4 times a week here, and we've cut it down to 2 because of other things and age. It doesn't bother me that the radio stations then, there's a track called Sorry Sorry. A lot of people give my father that credit. I wrote that song in '94. It was released in '98 under the album Shoki Shoki. And people don't even know, a lot of young people don't know my work. I've done over 100 compositions, 11 albums. When I see my father's life, that it took his death, and many years later, that people see him for what he truly was, I have a different interpretation to life. So those things don't really bother me anymore.
Right.
I think the essence of life is to play your part, play it as well as possible, and another, I would say, kind of sin is not to strive for perfection.
Yeah.
So I'm a kind of perfectionist. I always wake up, still practice, make sure every time I go on stage, probably it's my last time going to be on stage, I put everything I've got on that day. And so that is just the short story of my life. So those kind of things you have brought up don't really bother me anymore. I think I'm very spiritual. So I think there's always a reason for it, but obstacles come our way in life. And it's like standing by the ocean. You see all those waves. It is your duty as a person to overcome these obstacles. The minute you can't, then just give up in life. I mean, even the most beautiful things can be obstacles in your life. So your children can be problematic. Does that mean you will throw them away or kill them?
No.
So it's just part of the beauty of life. So I try to find essence or beauty in some disadvantages and take it from there and propel myself further.
Okay. I hope you like this word, Femi, because I was going to say, what is it? I hope you like this word. I was going to say, what rituals do you perform before you perform on stage? I'm a booking agent who's also a radio personality, a TV personality. I have seen many A-list artists, who have their rituals, very strong rituals. So I would like to know.
When you say rituals, people will think
they will come down and say the other one.
It's juju, I'm doing incantations.
But you know what I mean,
I
right?
know what
So
you mean.
each to their own. Let them think what they want to think, but what is it that you do before you get on stage? Because the stage is your world.
Yes.
What do you do?
If I have a gig, but now it's a daily routine, whether I have a gig or not. I've acclimatized and trained myself that as soon as I wake up, I'm prepared every day of my life. And it's why I said simplicity. I wake up as cool as possible. I don't get angry anymore. I save my energy. So that means on the days of performances, everybody around me knows, there's a performance, so don't stress me. So don't stress me at all. My children all know that now, because sometimes they like to jump on my neck, and I try to weather that sometimes, but the older I get, it's getting more difficult, so they understand, okay, daddy's performing today, okay, let daddy be. Tomorrow we'll see you.
And we'll take over.
We'll take over again. And then practice. I warm up. Right. I warm up as much as possible, because it's very, if I don't give my best, I'm very depressed after the performance. So I like to come off stage and say, yes, that was a great show. Before anybody tells me, I know. And if I messed up the night, or the night wasn't as good as I want, I'm so hurt. And I say, okay, I must have done something wrong somewhere. Okay, next time I prepare and make it better. So I'm that kind of person.
Awesome. The Made legacy is brewing because of
Yes.
you. Made, because of you. And for those that don't know, this is my little summary. So by no Femi's going to check me if I get it wrong. But this is my summary. Femi, at the age of 16, you joined your father's band.
Yes.
Right? Egypt 80.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And fast forward, your son Made has now joined your band.
Yes.
Fast forward, your son Made and you have actually come together to create an album,
Yes.
which is Stop the Hate by Femi and
Legacy Plus.
Made's on Forward, and
Yes.
together it's called Legacy Plus.
Yes.
Hey, Femi didn't stop me. Okay.
You did your research.
This is beautiful. This is priceless. Okay, this is just something. This is something that was something you always wanted to do because you're passing on that legacy.
Yes. Yes. But most importantly, Made always showed interest in music. So as a father, it was my duty to give him all the tools to make his future less stressful. And I knew what I went through as a little boy, a teenager, and an adult. I didn't want Made to go through all that. So Made has the street chaotic life I had. He knows my history. But then he's very educated in terms of he can read, he composes, he went to one of the best universities. So he plays 6 instruments professionally. That album you're talking about, Made played every single instrument on that album.
Wow.
I mean, that is,
It's fire.
it's
Lit.
it's awesome. It's great. It's anything.
Yeah.
Made, he played sax on my album. He played bass on my album. So Made is the kind of child you just wish to have. And then when you have, you are perplexed at how beautiful life can be.
Yes.
If we do things right.
Yeah.
So Made is just an example of my philosophy of life. I have 3 other children that used to be his friends. And I adopted them.
Oh.
They have come out of university. One is still in university. They have made me a grandfather.
Awesome.
But they had nothing. They used to do better than him in school. They used to come first in maths. And it just shows that leadership of this country is killing a lot of people who one day will become surgeons, great engineers, pilots, or whatever, because we don't give them the right education, because we don't want them to do better than our children, or for whatever the nasty reasons leadership
behind that
has. So these boys they call me daddy now. I didn't take their father's name from them, but I've been looking after them since they were like 6. And one is in his 30s, one late 20s, and they're making me proud as well. So it's not just Made. Made is in the forefront because he's my biological son.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Beautiful. The collaboration with Coldplay.
Yes.
That was fire. That was fire. Got you guys a Grammy nomination, and that was just, it was just, I don't know how to explain it. The fusion was just crazy. And it was something that actually did very well in the States. How did that collaboration come about with Coldplay, yourself and Femi Kuti and Made?
Chris Martin called my former agent,
Right.
who called my manager, who called me, and then said, Chris Martin wants to talk to me. I said, Chris Martin wants to talk to me. Can we give him your number? I said, yes, give him. And so they gave me. So he called me. And it was a secret. He called me and he said they had this project, but it was in the pipeline and nobody must know about it. So it was very difficult to keep it a secret, because I have quite a number of people
around you.
And so we went to South Africa for this global event, Global Citizen, and we sneaked into the studio and recorded. And he had my father's voice, and he didn't know Made was my son. So he freaked. I said, your son is here, he's going to play. And he said, wow, this is too much. I've got the grandfather, I've got the father, and I've got the son, the Trinity in my album. So, we made a big joke. And that track became one of the favorites of the album. But it's one of my best collaborations as well. We went on tour, we went we did a few gigs in America and in England, and we did the video in Jordan. So, I mean, they're like family now, Coldplay.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You know, at the very start of the show, we talked about, I mentioned the growth of Afrozons as a radio, as a TV show now, first radio, now TV. And I also wanted to let you know that one of the first times I ever met you, the learnings I got from you also empowered me to be able to face the US and any negativity or criticism I got about pushing this genre of music, the power, that royalty. And I got that theme, African royalty, they call me that now, from you. Because you made me feel like I could be anything I wanted to be. So it's important for me to let you know that, and I really appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
So I walk with my head up right there in the States like, yo.
You want me to blush? But
no,
okay.
but it's a fact. It's a fact. But there's one thing that they always ask me, even an artist I interviewed recently in the US asked me, and we talked about it earlier, the difference between Afrobeat and Afrobeats. I know you touched on it, but what do you think is the key difference? Do you see it as an evolution of Afrobeats, or you think it's totally different?
No, it's not an evolution. It's just a young generation taking little bits of particles from the Afrobeat to make music. When you listen to my father's compositions from the very beginning, it's complex. You will know that he was well trained. You will know that he's a serious musician. He's a composer. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He knew what he was doing. You see, I don't like touching on this because sometimes I like what they're doing. And in a nation where the youths are being deprived of being able to have proper education in whatever they want to become, when our young people are still making ends meet, they are supposed to be encouraged. And I don't see anybody reaching the level of Fela, unfortunately.
Oh no,
Fela
I totally agree with you.
Politically, socially, musically, I mean, when you listen to Fela's works, Afrobeats is more like pop, or it's more dance. It's more.
It's a fusion of pop, trap, hip-hop, R&B. It's a fusion of it all.
It's just kind of gege music, I would say. There is nothing wrong with it because I like it. I party with it too. I mean, Jai I did, Ninyola's music too, one of my favorite collaborations as well. But when you go into the seriousness of music, wow, Fela was a master at his craft. So you see,
the live band, the whole song, 8 minutes long.
It's not even the matter. It's not even the duration. It's when you.
The content,
Fela was
right?
playing 3 minutes before. When you go to Jenko Kuna Fight, when you go to Malu Joy Kijo, when you go to Fela's early works in the 70s, in '69, Fela did not just transform. Fela was really protesting when he said to make his music long, because they stopped playing Fela's music because of. He was too political, but they were playing James Brown or they were playing Bob Marley. But Fela just seemed to be a pain in the flesh of the government here. And Fela was like banned. And then Fela fought the radio stations for not paying royalties. So you had the government fighting Fela telling the radio stations, you have to pay royalties for playing my music, as they do anywhere in the world. But we never like to do things properly here. So Fela was having all these battles. So when you see Fela's transformation, you can understand why Fela now just said, look, to everybody, I'm going to play music this way. I'm going to play 15 minutes this side and 15 minutes the other side. But he didn't stop Fela's fans. He didn't stop Fela from progressing. Then Fela said to play 45 minutes long songs. And it didn't stop people. A good track like this is Born, Beast of No Nation, which is one of Fela's most popular tracks. ODOO, Overtake Dawn, Overtake, which I think is probably one of Fela's best classical compositions. It's the horns, the arrangement, the melodies. I mean, Fela is probably best at that time. So you can't compare anybody with Fela. You can't.
Checking in is your girl Sheila O. How far? What's up? Well, Gwan, how you all doing? Join me as I go one-on-one with musical geniuses, entrepreneurs, forward thinkers, the powers that be. I get them to spill their tea. It's the Afrozons show, and this is How Far.
Chilling with my girl Sheila O. How far?
And How Far with Sheila O.
Sheila O. On How Far?
How far?
How far?
You're watching How Far with my main person.
Sheila O, baby.
Tune into How Far.
The only place where hip hop is Afrobeat.
all packaged together. Then you had to kill them with DKT. No, stop it.
This is Femi Kuti. Tune into Sheila O on How Far. Ororororo. You will not regret it.
Watch How Far with Sheila O. Fridays and Mondays at 10:30 p.m. GMT +1 on HIPTV, DSTV. Powered by Star Rattler, Feyruz, and Munchit.
The Afrobeats it's like night and day.
Yeah.
It's like night and day, and I don't want to dissect that music from a musician's point of view.
Right.
Because you see, somebody like me, I'm like a father figure. I'm not there to discourage any of these young boys or girls doing well, and their music is doing well.
Facts, though.
Yes, I'm stating facts.
Yes.
But what I will advise is the next generation should always try to pick up an instrument, because music is as tedious, if not more tedious, than many other professions.
Yeah.
It's very serious. Music is never about fame, fortune, and all these things. Music is the profession that touches you. You don't touch. You touch the musical instrument, but the sound even touches the composer. It touches the listener. It makes you cry. It makes you sexy. It inspires you.
Right.
Everybody listens to music. The pilot, the doctor, the engineer, the house help, the driver. I mean, everything in this world is musical. When you go into the sea, it's musical. You go into the forest, it's musical. The way we walk, the way we make love, everything is musical.
Yes.
So you see, you have to understand, as a composer, you are a medium that higher forces use. So as much as you would say it's my music, I understand that it's a gift.
Yeah.
And I'm just being used to pass this. I've been able to put this melody together to make people, to inspire people. So that's why, as an artist, as a musician, as a composer, you always have to be humble, so you can be more inspired by these forces. Because the minute you start to become arrogant and you think that you are God or whatever you are,
Career suicide.
You start to lose the essence
of being a messenger. Because that's really what you are,
yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.